If you think your HOA is bad, wait till you hear about the one that fined a woman. $25,000 for something she didn't even do. And trust me, the revenge? Nobody in that neighborhood ever saw it coming. I moved into Ridgewood Lakes thinking it was the kind of place where people borrowed sugar, waved from their driveways, and minded their business. Instead, I landed in a community where the HOA board owned binoculars. I'm not kidding. 3 days after moving in, I got my first notice. Violation: unauthorized front yard ornament. I didn't even have an ornament, unless you count the stubborn squirrel that refused to leave my porch. The next morning, I walked outside and found the HOA treasurer, Mr. Calloway, standing in my yard with a tape measure. He said, "Your driveway is 2 inches too wide." I told him it came with the house. He shrugged like that was my personal failure. Then came the petty fines. $50 here, $75 there. Annoying but manageable. But then came the letter. A thick envelope stamped in screaming red. Penalty: $25,000 for unauthorized construction. My heart dropped. Construction of what? According to the HOA, I had secretly built a secondary dwelling behind my home. A whole extra house, like I had magically built a cottage overnight. I went outside, looked around. Nothing but grass, a garden hose, and my dog staring at me like, "Ma'am, when did you build a house?" I rushed to the HOA office. Calloway sat there grinning like he'd solved a crime. He said, "We received satellite imagery." A satellite. Like I was hiding a missile silo. When I demanded to see the image, he slid it across the desk, and I almost cracked up. The second house was my neighbor's shed behind. Their fence, but the angle made it look like it was on my property. I said, "This isn't mine." Calloway said, "The board will decide." He dismissed me. Dismissed the truth. Dismissed reality itself. That's when it hit me. This wasn't an accident. It was a scheme. So I dug deeper. Public records. Old budgets, permit filings, and what I found was insane. Calloway had been inflating fines for years, pocketing thousands through misfiled violations, money that never appeared in the HOA's official budget. He wasn't enforcing rules, he was running a personal cash factory. I collected everything: photos, emails, copies of checks, screenshots of every shady transaction. At the next HOA meeting, the room was full and bored. Until I connected my laptop to the projector. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said, "here's where your money actually went." Slide after slide, transaction after transaction, gasps everywhere. One guy yelled, "That's my check!" Calloway's face turned paper white. He tried to explain, and nobody was buying it. The vote was instant. He was removed,